All right, welcome to the garden. I'm going to give you a tour. You're going to have to bear with me a little bit because I'm on crutches. Got a knee injury, but luckily I did some cleaning to the garden before it happened. So I'm going to start with the zinnia patch. I still have some queen lime red zinnias blooming. Look how pretty they are. I've not been as diligent with deadheading and cutting my zinnias as I'd like. I went traveling recently and just have not been able to keep up quite as much, but they're hanging in there. I did just cut a few to bring inside and did some deadheading, but I have more to do. And I can tell, I'll show you along the way, that the zinnias have been spreading their seed and more zinnia seedlings are popping up. Also, my lantana here is popping through. I thought that was a goner, but it's coming back. So I have to make more room for that next year. And then I'll show you, especially down here by the edge of the grass, you can just see all the zinnia seedlings. And I do have to weed pretty bad, but so I have some pretty pink ones, my pretty pink and purple ones over there. And down at the end, there's a bunch of zinnias there. So once we get a frost, all of them are going to die. So none of the seedlings will make it till next year, but maybe I'll get another round of some pretty zinnias. And then in the new bed, I got one zinnia seed traveled on the wind right over there. It's already got a little bud. And then this is my experimental flower patch for now. You can see the strawberry blonde calendula is blooming, and that is from Baker Creek seeds. Really pretty. There's a bunch of other buds over there. Here I have feverfew, and I think that one that's tall is actually a Dara flowering carrot that I had planted there, but then it never sprouted, and now it decided to sprout. The rudbeckia is here, but it hasn't come up with any blooms. And then that is the dianthus, although I'm wondering if this, I'll have to look into it a little bit more. This tall one, I'm wondering if that's just like a weed that popped up around the same area or what. And then I did throw in some sweet pea seeds along the trellis, because this is the time now in this zone to be planting that. And I threw in some echinacea seeds in here. I threw in some more dianthus seeds and some poppy seeds, and we'll see what grows. There isn't a whole lot of very accurate information about growing things in the Houston climate with the humidity and everything, so a lot of it has just been trial and error. But I'm absolutely loving the calendula, so I'll probably pick that one, see how the vase life is. My broccoli patch is doing well. I also planted some sweet peas along this side of the trellis as well. See back here, and you can see here I have two snapdragons. Those are from seed, also by Baker Creek. It's a tequila sunrise snapdragon, and this I believe is a straw flower. No buds yet, so waiting on that. That was another experiment. These are these Asian greens that I can't pronounce, and I've grown them in a few areas. They are like a spinach, and they taste kind of like, more like a spinach, but they have a little bit more texture related, like similar to like a lettuce, if that makes sense. And then the stalk is really long. It's kind of like a celery stalk almost. So that's been doing really well. I got a little bit of some bug damage, but then when we had a little bit cooler weather, I think the bugs went away. So I've just been tearing out the damaged leaves, and it's a type that you can pick the outside leaves, and then it'll just keep making more leaves and grow bigger. And this is my tomato patch, which is chock full of tomatoes. It's getting really wild. I did pick my first Dr. Witchy tomato because it started turning, and I have several more. This purple Russian tomato is this beautiful oblong shape. I just picked my first one of those. That one and the Dr. Witchy have seemed to like cracking, but also the Tommy Toe tomato are these kind of a little bit bigger than grape or cherry size, but, and then these are some Dr. Witchies here, some more Dr. Witchies there, some more Tommy Toe tomatoes. Looks like the room we got beat them down a little bit. They're very hard to trellis well. And I have 2 Dr. Witchy plants, so I have a ton of Dr. Witchies. Some of them are small, like that one. And then these are black cherry ones. I have a couple turning there. So I could pick those now, or I could wait. There's another Dr. Witchy there. And here's more Dr. Witchies. So that's exciting. Hopefully we have a little bit more time before frost. I can enjoy those. This bed was my melon bed. I cleaned it out, added some fertilizer, and this is my carrot bed. So I planted 4 rows of some different types of carrots, all from Baker Creek, and we'll see how those go. My bell pepper plant's still doing well. I have some bell peppers here. I have another one down there. It's hanging in there. It's the end of the season. And then these are my dahlias that put out new growth. I have a new flower bud here, so I'm hoping to get at least a couple more blooms. I did get one, I deadheaded it. I also fertilized these with a low nitrogen fertilizer, and we'll see how that goes. This spot was my lemon cucumbers. I refertilized and threw in some spinach seeds, so we'll see how those go. This tomato plant is just kind of sprawled out everywhere. Part of it's dying, but still producing tomatoes, so I'm still getting my tomatoes. There's a begonia that crept through in there. We'll see if that blooms. I have my freesias here. Some of them are knocking over. More tomatoes. That's my cucumber plant. It's kind of just growing all over itself. I'm really going to have to figure out how to trellis it better next year, I think. And then these are my eggplants here. These are Malaysian eggplants. I grew these last year. They're doing all right. I've picked a few already. This bed I refertilized, and this is a radish bed. So I'm doing all the radish. I used up all the seeds that I had from last year. So I have watermelon radish, which is also like a Chinese radish. I have purple plum radish, which has a purple outside and white inside, and then a giant red radish. So 4 rows of radishes. My cayenne pepper plant still has peppers, and they're ripening. This has been getting repeatedly knocked over by wind and rain. I've lost some green peppers, but that's all right. There's a ton on there still, and they're turning red. This area, I put some more baby bok choy and some more of those Asian greens. And then this is where my Tokyo cucumbers were, which I thought I was gonna get a few, and then we had a really bad rain, and it just, a really bad rain, but the wind really absolutely destroyed it. So I refertilized a little bit, and I threw, what did I put in here? Oh, some Chinese cabbage. I did those a couple years ago, and they did really well. They grew very easily. Jalapeno plant, still putting out some jalapenos, still hanging in there. It's not as hot, and the peppers really like the heat, so it should be slowing down. And then these are my cafe au lait dahlias with new growth, so I'm hoping I'll get some blooms from these before we get a frost. My plan is to dig up my dahlia tubers and try to store them, because I tried to overwinter them last year, and we were just too wet here, and they rotted. The orange tree is doing okay. Maybe next year we'll get some oranges. And then the lime tree, that one's lemon, and that one's the lime tree, aren't doing the best. They're kind of yellowing. This one really got pummeled by the wind that we had, so I did put in some citrus fertilizer in those. My one dahlia there, I don't think I'm going to get any more out of that. My nasturtium, I did get a flower. It's really pretty. It's the Orchid Jewel from Baker Creek. And it's doing okay. I'm still figuring out nasturtiums in this weather and what they like. Also fertilized that. My kumquat tree has all the kumquats and they're starting to turn. Usually January is when they're ripe here. And then in this guy, I took some stuff out. I still have more stuff to take out. You'll see I have a couple more of those Asian greens. The parsley is loving the weather. I did throw in some different types of lettuces in here. I have to take that out. I have to take that out. There's a little baby bok choy. I have some broccoli down there, and my other bok choy didn't make it. But yeah, that's doing okay. And then my milkweed has grown back. It's getting really tall. I figure out if I need to cut it back or if it's going to die back this winter. But it's got all new leaves. Definitely has some more aphids. We'll see if we get any more monarchs. Maybe. And then where all the bees are over here is my basil, which went to seed. I let it go to seed at the end of every season because the bees love it, and this way they get some good pollen for the winter. My transplanted scallions from the store are going crazy. I have some more freesias in there. The thyme is still hanging out, but it's a little overcrowded by that basil. The oregano is pretty much done. Chives and rosemary is still doing good. And I do have some new growth on the dahlias that are in there, but it's pretty little, so I don't think I'll get much out of it. So I hope you liked the tour, how everything is, and how my winter plans are. Any questions, go ahead and leave it in the comments and let me know what you're planting. Have a great day. See you next time.